Okay, the first topic to discuss is fate and free will. The fundamental premise of astrology is that the future is not random. So if it's random, then there's no way you can guess what it's going to be. So the fundamental premise is that it's not random. So it's not just a whim of some god somewhere or a chance product of some electron. There's a pattern to it. There's a reason to it. The pattern is that cause produces effect. That's the fundamental, basic astrological philosophy. If you have a red cause, you'll have a red effect. If you have a blue cause, you have a blue effect. So if you know either one, you know the other. Yeah, if you know the effect, then you know the cause. If you know the cause, then you can foretell the effect. Destiny is the effect. And what's the cause? Is the cause somebody else? Something else? No, the cause is our action. Our action generates our destiny. Somebody else's action generates their destiny. See, so that seems simple, but the complex fact is that we all live together. And so our actions are based on your effects, and your actions are based on my effects, and they interact with each other, and they have to coexist and all that. So on paper, it can be very, very simple. Red cause, red effect. But in the real world, it's very complicated. So you can't give me a terrible effect if my wife doesn't deserve to get a terrible effect. And so that's why certain causes generate effects right away, and other causes generate effects in your next life. They have to wait for you to get another birth. Sometimes it's that complicated. So even though it's complex, it still boils down to the same basic principle that causes generate effects. And the cause is your action. But now let's go further. The action is caused by what? The action is caused by desire. Desire is caused by what? Desire is caused by your will, also known as your ambition. So basically, all of the destiny is ultimately caused by the type of self-concept that we have, because this concept generates a type of will and ambition, and that generates desires, and those desires generate actions, and those actions generate results, which become our destiny. Fate and free will are not two separate things. They're not at odds with each other. No, there's fate because there's free will. Because you have free will, you do something, and because you do something, you get a result. And because you get a result, you get fate. And what that result feels like it's out of your control, because once you do something, you've done it, and now you're going to get the result. That part's out of your control. So ultimately, all the destiny, even though it feels like it's beyond our control, is a result of the things that we've done. A birth chart is a snapshot of the results that are scheduled to happen in this birth. The planets that are in the chart do not create your destiny. Unsuperstitious astrology says that the planets reveal time. Planets tell us what time it is in the universe. In fact, all of our calendars are based on the movement of the sun and the moon. All of our telling of time in a day. What does 12 o'clock mean? It means the sun is high. That's what noon means. What's midnight? It means the sun is absolutely low. So all of our time telling is based on the movement of the planets, and the planets reveal time. Time is intimately connected with cause and effect, because a cause requires time to be able to give its effect. So time is the agent which enables causes to generate effects. It's the fundamental Shakti for karma, is Kala, or time. So if you know what time it is, you know what's going to happen next, and you know what's happened before. Just like if you know that the effect is red, then you can guess that the cause must have been red. Or if you see that the cause is blue, you can guess that the effect is going to be blue. So when you have a birth chart, you have a picture of a clock. That's what it is. It's a picture of a clock, but it's such a symbolic clock. It's packed with symbolic information about cause and effect. So don't be thinking that planets are doing things to you or doing things to people. People do things, but time is the agent which allows our actions to bear fruit, and astrology is showing us what time it is. So it's showing us, if you know how to really deeply look at time, you can see how causes are creating effects, and that's how you can tell what the future is, or what's the meaning of this event, what is it related to, etc. So you could see there's not really good and bad is really also like a superstitious outlook. Everything is the effect of a cause. Some things are certainly difficult effects that come from bad causes, and some things are certainly pleasant effects. Those come from good causes. There is some painful things, but what is a painful thing? It's caused by a painful cause. It's not just random. And so, because the nature of the cause reveals the nature of the effect, if we're contemplative about the difficult effect, we can understand what caused it. And in understanding what caused it, we can understand the key to how not to get the same effect again. I'm not saying that there's not suffering or difficulty, but in the difficulty is the key to not getting that difficulty again. So if we experience life carefully, thoughtfully, introspectively, and ask, what is it about this effect that I can understand that's really bad? What is the really bad thing about this, that thing that I'm suffering? What must I have done to cause this? Because you have to accept responsibility. That's the key to growing up. So what must I have done to cause this? Now, then you can understand, how can I change? How can I not do that same thing again? And if you change now, then you change your future. So fate and free will are totally connected. What you do determines what's going to happen to you. And by looking at what's happening to you now, you can tell what you've done. And you can understand how to change what you've done in the past so that you can create a better future. And that's the fundamental basis, the background of astrology.